Do you want to burst the blisters? In the deeper base of our epidermis, there lives a group of fat cells with many protrusions called spinous cells. These cells stand in a row holding hands, surrounded by many substances called glycolipids, which form a membrane in the gap beside them. This membrane can not only prevent the tissue fluid under the skin from running up, at the same time, it can also prevent the outside water from running in. And when you walk in a pair of shoes that don't fit your feet, the skin will be constantly rubbed, and the cells in the epidermis will be pulled. Of course, the spine cells will also be pulled. When the frictional force is too great or the time is too long, there are always two spiny cells that can no longer pull each other. The membrane used for waterproofing has also been broken. At this time, there is a relatively large amount of tissue fluid below, which is usually filled between the cells, so that the cells can be soaked comfortably. At this time, it ran from the crack to the superficial layer of the epidermis. The superficial layer was pushed up, and a bright blister was formed, due to the epidermis. There are abundant nerve endings, so you feel pain when you press it. So do you want to poke the blister? If it is a small blister, no special treatment is generally required, and it is not recommended to puncture it, because the bubble skin of the blister can protect the wound well and prevent infection. Clean or disinfect the blisters to drive away germs around them. In addition, you can also put a band-aid on it to protect it from being rubbed, and wait for it to slowly absorb and recover. Don't hesitate to face some relatively large blisters, not to mention that large blisters affect activities. The pressure generated by the accumulation of excessive tissue fluid will make the pain more obvious, and it is also easier to be rubbed and broken, resulting in infection. At the same time, too high pressure is not conducive to the nascent tissue below to repair the crack. When you are ready to puncture it, you need to disinfect the wound and needle with iodine, then poke a small hole on the edge of the blister to let the liquid flow out. After the liquid flows out, pay attention to disinfection again, then apply anti-inflammatory ointment, and finally cover with a band-aid or medical gauze. Remember, don't tear the punctured blister. It can protect the wound and prevent infection. However, it is best to go to the hospital to do this step. If the liquid in the blisters is not clear and yellowish, but thick and opaque, there may be an infection, and you must go to the hospital for treatment in time. The blister caused by friction generally does not hurt the dermis, so puncturing the blister will only puncture the epidermis, so there is no need to worry about scarring. So why are there blisters in some places and calluses in others? Because our epidermis has many layers. The top layer is called the stratum corneum. When something rubs against your skin, the stratum corneum on the surface will be swept away, and the cells below will speak in time to replenish. But if you rub frequently, the cells below will be very annoying. I like grinding so much. I will give you a thicker skin. Then the cocoon appears, because repeated friction stimulates the proliferation of the stratum corneum, but the layer of cells does not tear. Therefore, only calluses and no blisters will appear.